So Strava is great. I love it. I do use it to track every run I make, every walk I take. Starting to sound like a police song there for a second. G'day, welcome back to the channel. It's day 7 of at least 14 days of lockdown. Trying to stay positive. Meant to be doing a 6k tempo run, so sort of pushing myself really hard today, but it just feel a bit bleh at the moment. So I've come to a track that I've run plenty of times before. It's 3k's downhill, or 3.2 or something like that, and then the same back up. So I think I might just cruise or hold back a little bit, not stacks, but hold back a little bit on the downhill and try and push myself a bit harder on the up. So my legs are feeling a bit sore. Looking forward to a rest day tomorrow. Anyway, today's the featured run. That's why I've got my beautiful contraption on, ready to go. Oh well, that was quite an amazing run. Not so much because of the speed or anything, but considering how I was feeling before and how I'm feeling now, just in terms of general mood, I guess. So I started off just trying to cruise down the hill as I thought I would, and the first kilometre was pretty hard, just wasn't feeling it, but pretty much when I hit the 1k mark, I don't know, my legs loosened up and mentally I sprung into action a little bit. Probably helps having the music as I go. On the way back, able to push it, and the last kilometre tried to lift the tempo a little bit, and the last, 200 or 300 metres, I really tried to hammer it from there. So I don't know what my speed was for that bit, but it felt quick, felt sub 4 even though I was going uphill, which is always a very, very good sign. Just checked my Strava stats. It's even more exciting now having looked at that. My previous quickest running this course per kilometre was 4 minutes 20 per k last Christmas Eve, so 6 months ago, and today it was 4:06 per k, so it's always awesome. I love running the same route occasionally so that I can check up on my progress, and that's big progress, 14 seconds per k. It is a long period of time though, 6 months, but it's significantly quicker, so it's even more encouraging. This morning I picked the Asics Nova Blast to run in because they feel like a fast shoe, but they're also super squishy, so my legs weren't feeling great, and they just help just take a little bit of the impact out. So I think I made some good choices this morning. Where I ran, the surface I ran on, picking the downhill rather than the uphill to start, and running in some shoes to suit the feelings of my legs today. So it's Sunday morning and I am over the moon, and I'll tell you why. I've been for my 7k run with my friend in Olinda, like we love to do. And then I wanted to get to 21k's today, so I got 14 to go after that, and I thought, I wonder if I just run back towards home, put Google Maps on, run back towards home, I wonder if I'll be able to find the tracks to get back home rather than running on the road. Anyway, went down the hill for a little while on the roads, and then I'm like, oh, these tracks to the left look very, very familiar. So I took one, and sure enough, it's exactly where I started exploring only 2 weeks ago. So it's exciting for many reasons. One, I can now run to where I meet my friend. It's about 8 or 9k's from home, so that'll make about 25k's for Sunday morning. 2, if I hadn't explored 2 weeks ago, I would never have been able to recognize these tracks to get the whole way back home. And 3, it's just good to be out and about. It really is. And by that I mean obviously getting out of the house is good because lockdown sucks, but also just going and exploring, because it's really not my nature. I'm run the same tracks all the time kind of guy. until the last few weeks, and it is liberating and so very exciting about how many great tracks there are around me that I just didn't know existed because I didn't go exploring. So short of getting lost, that's the biggest downside of any of this stuff, which hasn't happened yet. I will explore bit by bit so I don't end up getting lost, but it's just very invigorating. Know that I can run all the way from my house up to Olinda, run some tracks up there, and it's not as scary or daunting as I thought it might be. Anyway, better keep going. As you can tell from my little video there, I was very excited to figure out that I can get from home all the way to Olinda, all the way back, not get lost. It's quite a challenge getting back up there though, because it's very hilly. Anyway, I've got some mud on the shoes to prove. The trails weren't all that great today, pretty sloppy. And if I had have known the route I was going to take today, I definitely would have taken out the trail shoes instead. That's a mental note for next week. Alright, I won't be doing too much talking today. What I do want to speak about ties a little bit into last week in setting your own goals and making your own training plan. And yeah, the focus today is the good and the bad of Strava, because it certainly can be both. Now what I mean by that is it's great because it can help you track your own running, it can help you track your own progress in your training, it can be motivating in that way, but as they say, comparison is the thief of joy. And I reckon as a wannabe runner on Strava, you can very easily find people who are much faster than you, and if you compare yourself to them, you're never really going to be satisfied with where you are or get much joy in achieving your own goals. That's why setting your own goals is so important, because you want to be motivated by what you can achieve, not always comparing yourself to others. So as a quick example, I remember coming out of our very first lockdown last year, and I was running just under 5 minutes per K, and I had a friend on Strava who was running just under 4 minutes per K, just for 5Ks or whatever, and I thought if I can ever get to that level, I am just going to be so happy. And that's where I am now. I can run under 4 minutes per K, and I am continually reminding myself of where I was, where I've come from, and where I am now, because it's so easy just to look at the next thing, look at the segments where I'm ranked 50th, I think, oh man, there's 49 people I could beat, or I've got some, plenty of fast friends on Strava who are quicker than me, and I could start to think, if only I could get down to 3:30 per K for 5Ks, or gee, I wish I was just that little bit quicker to get in the top 10 on the segment. It happens to me, but I really need to always be focused on what I can do, where I've come from, where I'm going, what my goals are, and keep them salient, keep them at the front of my mind, not worry about what others are doing, and definitely not trying to compare myself to others. My training program, I was able to hit all my goals this week, which was great. I was aiming to run 60 Ks for the week, and I just went a touch over today, 61 kilometers. On Monday, just did the 4 Ks jogging along with my girls at a nice slow pace. Tuesday, went out for a little bit of a bigger run, 16 kilometers. My average pace was 4:51, so I wasn't pushing too hard, but it wasn't a super slow day either. Wednesday was another nice light day, 3 Ks nice and slow, and did a bit of a longer walk as well, which was good. Got 8 Ks in then. Still really enjoying the walking, and I hope I can keep making time for that even as the Ks increase each week. Thursday, you guys saw already the experience I had. Went from feeling a bit flat in the morning, just while I was out there, just felt like I was gaining more and more energy, gaining more and more speed. And I guess the joy was coming into the run as well. So it was really good to be able to smash a PB there. And another 5K walk to round off the Thursday there. Saturday was a bit different. Since we're still in lockdown, I didn't have a soccer game to be able to go to. So I thought I'd go and try and run a 10K on the track. It's not the most exciting place to run 10 kilometers, but I did it for a few reasons. One, I wanted to see if I could really push myself and maybe even get a 10K PB. Turns out I didn't get close to that. Two, I wanted to try out the shoes that I'm planning to wear to the marathon this year, and I might even wear them at the half marathon. So I was just testing them out, see how they feel underfoot, and to be honest, I didn't love them. So I'll try it again in different pair of shoes, and I'll try it again in those shoes as well. Just try and see if I was just feeling a bit flat that day, or if the shoes just aren't giving me the pace that I'm looking for. But I did get the 10Ks in, 3 minutes 57 per K. Definitely happy with that, but it's nowhere near what I ran on the hills of Mornington a few weeks ago. So I feel like I've got a bit more pace in me there. Whether that's the shoes or just the way I was feeling that day, well, we'll see. And then to round off the week, big finish to the week, 21 Ks run this morning, broken up into a couple of runs, so that, yeah, made 61 Ks for the week when the goal was 60. It's a great way to start this training block. And a quick tip of the week, if you're into stats like me, I recommend getting a whiteboard, sticking it on the inside of your cupboard, and on it write down your best 5K time, your best 10K, you might have a half marathon or a full marathon time. Write it on there, and then take great pleasure in, when you're beating it, crossing it off and writing your new time in there. All right, well, that's it for this week. I think next week we'll probably be looking at my questionable running technique in a little bit of detail, as much for me to learn, and you might be able to pick some things up on what not to do through that. But thank you for watching the Wannabe Runner, and I will see you again next week.